That gel on those roots is on a clock. And most folks that buy tissue culture plants don't find out what happens when you ignore it until they're staring at a rotted plant 2 weeks later, wondering what went on when they're standing looking at a man down situation. So, what I'm going to show you is exactly what to do from the moment that bag hits your hands, because there's an order to this, and that order matters. Don't skip ahead. First thing you need to understand is what exactly you're dealing with. Tissue culture plants are grown inside of a lab, completely under sterile conditions. This means that they have 100% humidity, zero exposure to any of the nasty shit from the outside world, like bacteria or fungus or real air for that matter. So, that gel on the roots that you see, they call that agar. That's a nutrient medium that keeps the plant alive. So, just think of it as a gel that has all the food that the plant needs in it. All right. Let's jump directly into the steps on what you need to do to take care of your plant. Of course, open your bag wide first. Make sure that you don't squeeze it trying to force the plants out, or you could fuck up the roots, right? You want to make sure that you handle this with care. Now, because a lot of these plants are using hormones and stuff like that, I highly recommend that you do not stick your damn hands directly into this because you don't know what is in the agar. So use something that will help you get that out of there. What I like to do is I have lukewarm water. I put a little bit of peroxide into that water so that I can gently remove the agar and anything nasty that may be on the plant. Just a squirt or two, don't go overboard. And bloop, straight into lukewarm water. Not hot, not cold. I said lukewarm, damn it. Cold water can shock the plant that's never existed outside of a controlled environment. Hot water damages delicate roots. Lukewarm water will be what you need to loosen that agar naturally and start releasing it before you start messing with it with your hands. Look at you, you've made it to step 3. Now we're going to clean the agar off of the plant. I like to use a soft paintbrush. That way I can easily scrub it off without being too harsh to the plant. So the agar gel, remember, has nutrients in it. If we leave any amount of that on the plant, it will allow fungus, bacteria, mold, or anything like that to stick to the plant, grow, and overwhelm your plant. It's going to be a man down situation if you don't get all the agar off the plant. Listen to me. Make sure that you are thorough in this process or your plant is going to die. Your plant should feel smooth to the touch and clean when you touch it, and not as if it has a jelly-like film on it. Now, next up, I like to use a biofungicide on my plants as an additional security against possibility of rotting or anything that could go wrong, bacterial, mold, or fungal wise, right? What this does is give your plant a defense system that will help this plant transition into the real world. Because remember, when we expose it to normal air, there's going to be bacteria and fungus and stuff that's naturally in the air. I like to take it and soak it in the biofungicide for about 5 or so minutes. You do not need to rinse this off. This comes directly after the rinse. We made it to step 4. It's time to get ready for the transition medium. We are not going into soil. We are not going into a chunky mix. This plant is going to need a transition medium, something that's going to hold moisture without suffocating the damn roots that have never had to work for water before. You can use a sphagnum moss. You can use a peat moss. I, in this situation, am going to be using pine. This is going to be a mineral substrate that is not organic. So there's nothing in there that's going to be rotting or anything like that. It will soak up water to put just the right amount of moisture around the roots. It will also maintain nutrients as well. Of course, we're going to add them to that, but it will absorb some of that and give it to the plant slowly as well. We can think of this process as the halfway house between the lab and your collection. But it is important that we do not expect that this plant is going to go directly into regular medium right off back, because 9 times out of 10, it's going to be too dense. It's going to cause your plant to rot out at the roots. And after that point, it's probably going to be a man down situation. Now, do not be lazy about how you position your roots into the substrate as you put this plant in here. Of course, it's been flat in a bag, so it's probably going to be kind of deformed, but make sure that your roots are kind of flattened out along the soil, meaning they're going out towards the edges of the pot. Fan them out as much as you possibly can without breaking them, and then gently place the substrate on top of the roots. Do not have the roots going straight down into the pot, pointing down towards the ground, because it's just not the way that plants naturally grow. And a lot of times, if you have those roots piled up on each other and going straight down, that will cause root rot. You can use a paintbrush to gently be able to fan those roots out as well if you need help with fanning them out. But do be intentional about the way that you put your roots under the substrate. Do not just throw some shit together. Now, step number 5 is absolutely not optional. Tissue culture plants, as we have learned, come from 100% humidity environment. Your house is absolutely not that. So if you skip this and just go ahead and set this damn plant on a shelf, you're going to watch it melt. You're going to blame yourself when it's really about you just moving too fast. So you want to get a clear container that has a lid on top. The container that I use is available on Amazon. You can find it at my link in the bio for my Amazon store. But you want something that's going to allow you to adjust the airflow as time goes along so that the plant will get the air circulation and the exposure to the normal air from your house over time. Now, to create my reservoir at the bottom, I'm literally just taking the bottom of a McDonald's cup and I just place that right at the bottom of my container. I just cut it in half basically, and that's how I make these containers, as you can see. All right, for it to be humid inside of this container, of course, we're going to need some water, right? So pour a little bit of water right over the top of the substrate. Remember, you got the cup at the bottom that is going to catch your water and create a reservoir. You want that water to touch just the bottom of your substrate. Do not fill that water up really, really high into your substrate because you're going to have root rot. Now, simply just close the top of your humidity dome completely shut. Leave it completely shut for an entire week. And then the next week, you'll open it up a little bit and then continue to do that for the next 3 to 4 weeks until it's completely open. You're just training your plant on how to survive in your room humidity. Let's talk about light and placement. So here we are 3 days after I put these into these containers. You can see the humidity is building up inside of the container, which lets us know it is humid. You want indirect light, no direct sunlight or anything like that. You want stability, meaning put it in a place that's correct the first time. Do not move it around. Do not disturb it. I am growing mine under grow lights. Big thing is do not put your tissue culture plants in direct sunlight. Keep it stable, meaning do not move it around. Do not mess with it. All right, let's get into some examples. Here's a philodendron caramel marble and how it looked when I purchased the plant in January of 2026. Here it is, fully acclimated in February of 2026. Still a little plant, but he's definitely showing his colors and he's growing. Now, here's that plant in June of 2026, the philodendron caramel marble. It's all the same for every single plant that you are going to acclimate. Anthurium, Alocasia, Hoya, Labisia. It doesn't matter what's in the bag. The same steps, the same patience, the same results. You got this. Until next time, thank me later.